So hello and welcome to the Beginner's Guide, a game made by the same developers that did the Stanley Parable, and well, it's a very long game about some person's game history, and I won't go into much detail. It's sort of an experience thing. I will cut it into some pieces, and the quality isn't really this bad. It's just my videos that are really terrible quality. But the game is, well, from the menu it looks pretty nice, and that tells a lot about a game. Probably not. The video's length will be probably somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes long, and they will be uncut. So yeah, let's just get to it and start the game. Begin game. Oh, it is. It is. Okay, yeah. I know the controls.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote the Stanley.
Okay. Let's see here. Video. Let's see here. We need... Wait. Back. We need... Video. Where is... So there's no subtitle? Really? Oh, wait. Effects. Oh, there's no subtitle, guys. Ah, crap. Is there really no subtitle? Are you... Okay. Well, you'll just have to understand, I guess.
Parable. And while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Kota. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Kota in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Kota learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level.
Yeah.
And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind
Real.
of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Kota's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
Okay.
So, it's 2008, Kota starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Kota. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Kota's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This
Okay.
first one was made in November 2008.
2008, huh? Okay, so yeah, I told you about a game. I've watched like some footage of it on Japanese.
Whisper machine active. Shift to
Ooh.
structure.
Well, since I
This
watched,
game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Kota.
yeah, there's no monsters actually. You'll know what I'm talking about in a sec.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
Out of ammo! Oh no!
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere.
It's
You
jittering.
can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Kota thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we
Crouch.
should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized.
So yeah, there's no enemies,
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
and yeah. That's a nice block or box. I don't know what it's called. And this is a maze.
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Well, I already made it.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Yeah?
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. You could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam.
I could.
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it?
Would I?
Could you give yourself?
Could I give myself? To who? Who's asking? Mom? No? Of course. This is game.
Let me pause here for a
What
second.
an animation.
What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Kota had initially intended when he was developing this level.
Oh.
But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere.
Yeah.
And this is what happens instead.
Let's check, shall we? Yeah. It's a nice background. Still, you can see
The
the
beam
outline
causes you to start floating.
of the box.
And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Kota identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system.
That's
Or
how it
this
made the
floating
maze.
could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and
tumor.
experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Yeah. It's a game where you only can walk backwards.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
And look at this. There is a shaft, like in the floor, like around the whole wall, which is pretty cool. So, nothing yet. And it generates.
So it's a short
noise.
and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Kota's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Oh yeah? But the future could not be seen. Why does the future keep changing? Oh, why? Oh, well. Oh yeah, right. Not... I would go this way. When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. What does? But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength? It's a door. Come on. Get the door. Get the door. I want the door. Ah, to confront it. Yeah, I didn't get
It's
the
a
door.
short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends.
Yeah.
Didn't need anything more than that.
Well,
Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
next one. Next one. Ooh, spooky, scary. You are now entering... nothing.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I
Yeah.
promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay, sure. It's very interesting, though. I like the concept of not
Oftentimes,
being able to
Kota
see.
would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Yeah?
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Oh, I like the look here. It's like...
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Kota's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm
Peace.
modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the
Okay.
door for yourself.
Yeah. I like how it looked like when you walked up the stair, it kind of like was like the visual of you going but you're not getting anywhere. Like, I think it's trying to give that message that he's like, what, enter? Oh, there we go. Needs to be the big enter. Okay. And then we got this room. You walk around talking people down for pursuing their hopes and dreams. That's a sad title.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Sure. A button you press to stop the chaos that doesn't
Kota
work.
would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or
Clean,
distant.
dusting your
He said that he
room,
knew that he
your
was
kingdom.
actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
A normal game where you have to scream into a mic every 15 seconds to keep playing. Sorry, guys. My voice. Better. No, not at all. What the hell? Okay, sure. I'm really sorry about that. God damn it, my voice should be good. I haven't done anything. Barely talked today. Now
Well, this is new for Kota. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Yeah, I knew this in the beginning because this is like some Minecraft type puzzle thing. You click this one and you run in. But what I didn't know is that the lever is actually on the door. I thought it was gonna open this door automatically. But there's the
Don't
lever.
forget that solution, because we're
Yeah.
going to see this puzzle again soon.
Yep.
We're gonna see it a lot.
Why is the 3 dots? I don't know. 3 dots. 3. 3. Well, I'm actually gonna end it off here. I feel like this is a good point, and I'll pick it right back up again. So yeah, talk to you later, guys, and see you in the next episode.